If you want to grow in your career, we always hear find a mentor. What's all the fuss about finding a mentor? Why is it even important?
There's several different ways to look at this and several different ways to answer this. It really depends on where you are in your career, what the makeup of your organization looks like as well. I definitely think if you are just getting into the industry, you're just getting fresh into design, you definitely want to have a more senior individual around you to help kind of bounce questions off of. A lot of times when I talk to new designers, one of the most difficult things I see them identifying is their value proposition.
Hands down, the best way to learn UX is to copy world-class apps out there. Pixel by pixel, flow by flow. Why? Well, the best designers are working on these solutions, but you might not be able to get in the room with them. The next best thing is to study their designs, spacing, shadows, interactions, and ask yourself, why did they make these decisions? All can be answered by recreating the interface. This will teach you more than any other bootcamp. Discover how the world's top designers create world-class user experience on Mobbin, linked below. Thanks for sponsoring, and now back to the video.
What are they good at? What are the strengths and what are their weaknesses? A mentor can really help you discover that. And a mentor can help you guide you down the path of where you may want to gravitate. So I think even from that beginning side, it's a phenomenal thing to look at getting that mentor. It's like career therapy, right? Without an actual therapist. So some mentors are great. I know even I said I've been here for about 20 years. I have mentors myself that I rely on as well. So I don't think there's never any point in a career in which you shouldn't have a mentor. So that leads me to the senior side. There's so many different things. Being a senior, perhaps maybe you gravitate more towards the research side and the discovery side and need to get a little bit better on the visual. So find yourself a mentor that really focuses in that visual side of things. Perhaps there's courses and you meet students along in those courses, things along those lines. But then also, what if you work at an organization where you're the only designer? Right? So you need those other people to really bounce ideas off of, get that strong, trustworthy network where, when you work as a solo designer, whether you are a freelancer or a single designer in an organization, you need those people to brainstorm with gut checks. Gut checks are real. Am I doing this right? Am I on the right path? So I think there's very many different reasons why you should look at getting a mentor, but I think ultimately they just help you guide you through your career on the path that you're currently on.
Well, you said something that's super interesting. You also have a mentor. What are you looking specifically for you in terms of like mentors that you're looking up to or need help with? What kind of are you looking for?
Yeah. So for me, again, it's very dependent on where you are in your career. So being more on that veteran side and that leadership side, what I'm really looking for in a mentor is I need to broaden my what I like to call T-shaped skills, right? So I feel like I've been embedded within design for so long, but what about product strategy? What about data? What about these other things? Those aren't my fortes by any stretch of means. So I have a mentor that is a VP of product, right? And I reach out to them and talk with them and bounce my ideas with that individual, right? And I've had that mentor for about 2 years. So it's strengthening that side of my product. So it's a little less outside of design, but I also look for those people who are going to push me. I don't want to just be told, yeah, that's great idea, good job, right? I need a person who's going to put me in my place, right? And be very direct with me and tell me where my thinking is off, how I can make it better, and really push me towards those breakthroughs, if you will.
I think there's also something to be said about different types of mentors, not just like personality types, but like, or different types of mentorship that you are seeking. So it could be like a skills based thing, like someone is really good at this skill or has that kind of knowledge that can fill in your unknown unknowns. But also it could be, as you said earlier, which is like this career therapy. So like the mindset mentor, right? Like the one that's like makes you feel good about what you're doing, can celebrate stuff with you, knows how hard it is in some situation, has been there before. They sort of like coach you through like the hard times, if anything. So there are different types of, I think, mentorship, like relationships that people could seek out. And it doesn't have to be like just this one person who like you're just going to dump all your problems on, because that's probably not healthy for anybody. But
For
like,
you, maybe, but
yeah, yeah, that's my partner. I'm just like, hey, here's all the things. But yeah, there are like lots of kind of things to think about when you're looking at where you want to grow, like personally, professionally, skill based, whatever it is. I think that's something we should know. I guess the next logical question is, how the hell do we find these people?
how? Where are they, man? We're everywhere, right? I think there's so many different ways that you can do this. I think the obvious answer that a lot of people will tell you is ADP list, right? Which to be honest, ADP list is phenomenal. It's like what do they call it? Quick dating, right? It's like you have these 30-minute little sessions with mentors. You can really get refined in what you're looking for, what the skills of that individual are. There's thousands of them on there, and you can shop around, if you will, right? You're not it's let's go back to the therapist thing for a moment. Mentors are to some extent like therapists. They say, to find a great therapist, you have to try on many different shoes in order to find the ones that fit, right? Mentors are the same way. Okay. So you need to resonate with that individual. You need to feel safe with that individual. So I think ADP list is a really great way to kind of go through this roulette wheel, if you will, of different mentors and find one that you gravitate towards, right? One that complements what you're looking for in that moment. But aside from ADP list, LinkedIn is actually a phenomenal way. Sometimes I know I've worked with a lot of people that are very introverted. If you're an introvert and a little fearful to reach out to people, the amount of information that you can find from individuals, specifically people like you, Chris, that are putting out all kinds of things on job searches and how to solve problems, that's mentorship in a way. Follow the right people. Follow who are the people that you gravitate towards and seek them out and reach out to them, and ultimately you forge these friendships and they can lead into mentorships. Okay. Facebook, there's groups on Facebook, Discord groups, Slack groups, right? There are all different types of ways, and I think don't discount the people that you directly work with. Honestly, I think a lot of the mentors that I've had along the way are people that have been direct coworkers with me, and we've carved relationships and we reach out to each other still to this day. We may have worked with each other 10 years ago, but we help each other through problems. So don't put aside the people who are directly next to you either. So there's a plethora of places that you can go to find these. The obvious answers are those platforms like ADP list, but dig deep. They're all around you. All you have to do is ask, right?
Mhm.
You just have to be bold enough to make that first move.
What do you think about this? I'm in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, right? And not to say that there's not great talent around, not at all, but sometimes the access to certain people I want to speak to, of course, we have the internet, but I like to think of seeking mentorship is also seeking information and seeking the unknown unknowns, and that you can just find information, as you said earlier, like just online, right? You can binge someone's content. So I've been learning a lot about business recently. So I'm just like follow like X people's journey. And because they release so much content, you kind of feel like you know them. And sometimes if they speak about a certain thing that you're facing, you're like, oh yeah, that's actually true. How do you feel about this take of like seeking mentorship through consuming someone's content?
Yeah, I think I agree with that 1,000%. I think location can confine you from finding the right people. So going online and really consuming that content. I think we have to be just a little bit careful there. You and I both know, being on LinkedIn frequently, there's a lot of conflicting information, right? And as designers and as individuals and people, we have to be able to parse through that and figure out like what resonates the most with you and ensure what are the comments happening in the streams to make sure that you're receiving the right information. If you don't know that individual, you don't know if it's the right information. But I absolutely think that's a wonderful to seeking that mentorship is consuming that information. So I would agree 1,000%.
The best kind of use case for us to go through is maybe someone more early in the journey, right?
Mhm.
So let's just say I'm a boot camp graduate and I'm looking for my first role. Like, what sort of mentorship do you think someone like me would need?
So
Want to listen to the full conversation? Click the video on screen now. Subscribe to the channel if you want to join us live. Oh, wait. Okay, fine, you don't have to join us for the live stream, but if you like stuff like this, then click that subscribe button. I'll see you on the inside. Bye!